kalau belanja di Indonesia itu yang murah di mana? Di Jakarta. So, you go to Tanah Abang aja. Di sana murah tuh belanja. Wah, itu orangnya semua high class semua, Pak. Aduh. So when I see the difference itu, Pak. When I saw tadi di Tanah Abang, so when I saw in
Grand Indonesia,
so
Plaza
kontras itu terlalu. You know what I mean, Pak? Orang Brunei, if any Bruneians wanted to come to Indonesia, ayo come to Indonesia. Indonesia is a beautiful country. A lot of things to explore here. Don't just study in Brunei. There are a lot of scholarships here. Come to Indonesia. It's a beautiful country.
Baik, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome back to Wonder Home Podcast. Dan hari ini kita akan ngobrol bersama seorang, bukan lagi mahasiswa ya, tapi mahasiswa S3. Baru lulus S2 di UMJ dengan Abdul Muiz.
Iya, Pak.
Apa kabar Abdul Muiz?
Alhamdulillah, Pak. Alhamdulillah. I'm doing great ya.
Ya, Abdul Muiz ini adalah mahasiswa dari Brunei, Darussalam.
Ya, betul, Pak. Dari Brunei.
Di Bruneinya di Bandar Seri Begawan.
Iya, Pak. Saya tinggal di Bandar Seri Begawan, di kotanya itu,
di
Pak.
Kotanya ya.
Jadi from the airport to my house itu is only about 5 minutes, Pak.
Oh ya, dekat ya?
Iya, very dekat, Pak. Dekat.
Ya, ini Abdul Muiz yang tahun ini itu wisuda Insya Allah di program S2 Magister Ilmu Agama Islam di UMY, dan juga akan memulai program barunya di S3 Politik Islam.
Politik Islam, Pak. I just got baru keterima, Alhamdulillah. Baru keterima S3 di Politik Islam. I just got the offer letter last week.
Oh, last week.
Yes, baru banget, Pak. Baru banget.
Masih sangat fresh.
Very fresh, very excited.
Oke, kita akan ngobrol-ngobrol tentang ini, Muiz. Gini deh, Muiz ini kenal dengan Indonesia atau dengan apa itu namanya? Ya, dengan pendidikan di Indonesia itu dari mana sebenarnya?
Oke, sebenarnya itu, Pak, awalnya saya iseng aja, Pak. I was actually traveling alone to Indonesia in the first place. Awalnya saya traveling aja jalan-jalan. So I got curious what Indonesia is all about. Gitu. Interesting, Pak. So I went to Jakarta jalan-jalan. I went to Makassar alone jalan-jalan. So
pernah ke Makassar juga?
Yes, I went to Makassar back in 2016, Pak. A long time ago. I went there alone. So I met a lot of people. So sharing ideas.
Itu sudah lulus dari S1?
Belum, Pak, belum mulai juga.
Belum mulai S1.
Sama-sama jalan-jalan itu. Dan dari sana terus saya keterima di University Brunei Darussalam. Then we had a student exchange program, Pak. So they have a list of universities in my program. So one of them is Universitas Gadjah Mada. So I applied, alhamdulillah saya keterima. Then after that I finished the program. Then I went back to my country. So waktu saya pulang, saya kangen Indonesia, Pak.
Oh gitu.
After that saya kangen Indonesia. Then I tried applying several universities in Indonesia, dan termasuk UMY, dan alhamdulillah saya keterima di UMY.
Oh gitu, Pak. Berawal dari jalan-jalan itu.
Jalan-jalan, Pak. I was curious tentang Indonesia. I met a lot of people.
Tapi sebelum itu di Brunei, waktu itu di University of Brunei Darussalam. Yes. Apa, belajar apa di sana?
I was majoring in Brunei Studies, Pak.
And Brunei Studies, ya.
Where in my courses itu I actually studied a lot of, it covers everything, Pak. For example, Brunei economics, religion, politics, international relation. So I was actually very concerned with most of the itu tuh, Pak. I like what I'm more concerned is about Islam, Pak.
Oh, gitu.
So alhamdulillah, I excel most of the subject in Islam. Then I tried applying in S2 in
MBA. Oke, ngobrol sebentar tentang itu tadi, Islam di Brunei. Karena kan di Brunei Studies salah satu majoringnya adalah Islamic Studies juga di situ kan ya. Sebenarnya Islam di Brunei itu masuknya dari mana atau bermulanya dari mana? Apakah ada satu kerajaan dengan beberapa kerajaan di Malaysia atau dengan di Kalimantan di Indonesia gitu, atau dari mana Islam masuk ke Brunei itu?
Itu from the berapa ya, how many centuries ago Pak, from traders from Arab ya, from Arab coming to Brunei. Even our third Sultan Pak, his name is Sultan Sharif Ali. He was actually descendants from the Arab.
Sultan Sharif Ali itu descendant from the Arab.
So
Arab traders.
Yes, he was officially our third Sultan. Then he remarried a Bruneian, and until now, our current Sultan Haji Hassan Al-Bolkiah itu is actually descendant from Arab as well, Pak.
Oke. Ini Sultan keberapa, Kak? Sultan
29,
Hasan.
Pak.
Oh, ini sudah 29?
Yes, the 29 Sultan of Brunei.
Oke. Oh, sudah lama berarti. Ternyata sudah bergenerasi-generasi.
Something wrong. Even keturunan Salasilah, raja-raja itu termasuk juga orang Jawa juga, Pak.
Oh, ada.
Even our fifth Sultan, Sultan kita yang kelima itu Sultan Bolkiah, itu he married someone from Jawa. Her name is Lela Mencanai. He's from the Majapahit. Yeah, she's from Majapahit.
Yes. Oh, oke. Yeah. Oh, ada jaringan itu ya, ada hubungan dengan perkawinan dengan Indonesia juga di Sultan kelima tadi itu.
Betul,
ya?
Pak.
Oh, oke. Kalau dari sisi demografik, in terms of religion gitu, berapa persen sih Muslim di Brunei?
Actually, it's
itu?
about 60 to 70% are Muslims in Brunei.
Okay.
Yes.
What about others?
Other are mostly, for example, Christians and also Buddhism as well.
Yes. In terms of ethnicity, are they Malay as well?
Yes.
Apa mereka Malay?
Because our national philosophy is Malay Islamic monarchy, Pak. So
Malay Islamic monarchy.
Yeah, Malay is our official race.
Okay.
Melayu. Terus religion is Islam, and then Beraja is monarchy is our political system in Brunei, Pak. So it's Melayu Islam Beraja is our national philosophy.
Ya dengan tadi let's say about 60
to 70%
are Muslims. Non-Muslims, how they are feel treated by Malay Islamic Beraja tadi itu monarki? Apakah mereka merasa, wah kenapa pakai istilah Islamik di situ? Apakah mereka tidak misalnya, are we not included in the system gitu? Ada nggak semacam protes itu nggak ada ya?
So far itu nggak ada sih, Pak. So we still treat them as well sih, Pak. So for example, even though in secondary schools, even the non-Muslims, if they go to government school, Pak, they have to wear hijab. Yes. So far, I was in the government school as well during my secondary school, Pak. So SMA. Then I had Chinese friends who are non-Muslims. They wear hijab. They have in secondary school, Pak. Dulu we had to wear apa itu, Pak?
Peci
during the secondary school. But I've never heard of them complaining. So they are actually adapting to the situation.
Adapting to the this is the role and the system that's applied in Brunei, and they just adjust to the system. Tanpa harus mereka melepaskan agamanya ya.
Yes, betul, Pak.
They are still Christian, they are still Buddhist, but they are following the cultural and political tradition in Brunei gitu ya. Oke. Menarik. Ya, terus kemudian gini, ketika kamu ke Indonesia, merasa ada yang beda nggak cara bermasyarakatnya atau cara beragamanya, cara berinteraksinya gitu?
Let me share you something,
Pak.
I want to share you something. The first time I went to Indonesia itu di Jakarta, Pak. I was asking some friends that kalau belanja di Indonesia itu yang murah di mana? Di Jakarta. So you go to Tanah Abang aja. Di sana murah tuh belanja. Oke lah, saya ke Tanah Abang. I see the situation there. Oke lah. Waktu itu it's not really as proper as it is right now, Pak. Belum terlalu teratur lah sekarang waktu itu ya, Pak.
So crowded.
Yeah, it's crowded. So a lot of what do you call that?
PKL berarti
barangkali not teratur lah, Pak. Then I asked my friends. I bought a lot of stuff, Pak. Oh, it's very cheap. Wah, murah sekali. Kaos bisa dapat 30.000, 100.000 dapat berapa gitu, 3. I still remember my days in Jakarta. Terus saya tanya lagi teman saya, Mas, kalau mau nyari, I want to go to mall, yang agak high class lah, so I can see the difference. Dan oh iya Mas, kamu tinggal jalan dikit aja, di sana udah nyampe GI katanya, Grand Indonesia, Pak.
Grand Indonesia. Kamu tinggal di mana?
Saya itu waktu itu jalan-jalan Pak. So I live in around, I'm not sure Pak. I think I live in
not that far from Grand Indonesia.
Not that far. So I was actually around. Saya tinggal waktu itu di Jakarta Barat Pak. So waktu itu saya then I went to, katanya kamu tinggal jalan dikit ya, itu ada Grand Indonesia. Saya think when I went there itu, wah, itu orangnya semua high class semua Pak. Aduh. So when I see the difference itu Pak. When I saw tadi di Tanah Abang, so when I saw in
Grand Indonesia, so, Plaza Senayan,
those kind of stuff itu Pak. So you know the people Pak, so when I see orang yang belanja di sana, how they dress in Tanah Abang, and how they dress in Indonesia. So I've never seen those apa ya Pak ya? Kontras itu terlalu. You know what I mean Pak? Maksudnya itu tadi saya lihat orang banyak ada yang beggars, pengemis, and all those kind of stuff. When I see that, aduh, in Brunei itu we don't have those kind of stuff Pak. So mostly kita itu we live in a, maksudnya
decent places.
Maksudnya itu biasa aja. Maksudnya itu kalau yang the rich and the gap between the rich and the poor is not really
that far.
Okay. Pak. That is in Brunei Pak. That's what I experienced Pak. That's what I experienced.
You experience two different world between the world of Tanah Abang.
Yes,
ada pengemis,
that's my point Pak.
Ada preman.
Yes, that's gonna stuff. yang
macam-macam.
Ya, katanya teman saya itu, kamu naik angkot aja. So I experience naik angkot, which I've never experienced. Tapi di Jogja tuh nggak ada angkot ya?
Di Jogja nggak ada.
Semarang apa?
Jakarta.
Semarang ada Pak?
Mungkin Semarang ada ya, saya belum pernah naik. Kalau di Jawa Timur ada, di kota-kota di Jawa Timur ada.
Iya,
Jakarta juga ada.
Interesting though.
Oh gitu. Apa nervous, takut gitu nggak pertama kali naik angkot waktu itu di Jakarta? What's going to happen because I'm
lebih ke nggak tahu jalan aja sih Pak.
Nggak tahu jalan ya.
Biasanya oke sih Pak. Oke. Because most of generally according to me Indonesians are friendly Pak. Indonesians are friendly.
Oke. Oh gitu ya. Jadi tadi di Brunei itu gap antara the have and the have not itu tidak terlalu besar gitu.
As in what experience
di Indonesia kalau itu tadi melihat mall, apalagi di mall-mall yang pusat mall-mall yang besar begitu.
Betul.
Hanya barang-barangnya mahal-mahal, yang belanja tentu saja orang yang sangat kaya, super kaya gitu ya.
Aduh, when I went to GI itu ya, mobilnya mahal semua itu pada sana.
Itu
even saya nggak pernah lihat di Brunei gitu Pak.
Mungkin Sultan.
Mungkin. Tapi kita like what I mentioned itu Pak, when the difference itu Pak, when I see the wow and when I see the ups and downs, when I see Indonesia, if they are rich, they are super rich Pak. Super rich, but Indonesia they're super poor. That is the gap that I experience Pak in Indonesia itu Pak. Yes.
Kalau di sana gap nggak ada itu karena memang let's say kalau di Brunei itu memang ada semacam subsidi dari government kah untuk kehidupan masyarakat yang misalnya kenapa nggak ada beggars? Let's say when they don't work, they don't have work. Dan apakah pemerintah government subsidize?
Somehow I think it's the same Pak Indonesia. We have somehow, we call it Baitul Mal ya Pak. We have the Baitul Mal. The government helps them in terms of financially. Governments provide them housing as well. Itu Pak, housing, jobs. A lot of subsidies in Brunei Pak. For example, bensin. It's quite cheap in Brunei Pak, bensin in Brunei. Pretty cheap.
Ya karena memang produsen bensin, presiden petrol.
Iya Pak.
Oke.
And zero tax as well.
Zero tax.
We don't have tax in Brunei.
Okay.
No tax pajak in terms of occupation, kerja. No.
Habis ya tadi setelah jalan-jalan di Jakarta, di Makassar itu tadi, apa yang membuatmu tertarik untuk kemudian belajar di Indonesia?
Firstly, the people, environment, the friendly people. I don't know. I just click it here, Pak.
You click it.
Yeah, I just click it here. Even when I was in UGM, Pak, yeah. After I finished my studying in UGM, terus a few of my friends actually experienced the same thing, Pak. Kita nggak mau pulang. Ada lagi teman saya sekarang udah kerja di. A few of my friends, Japanese friends, he was actually working in Jakarta.
International students, you mean?
International students. They was like, udah nyaman. Saya nanya, kamu kenapa masih di sini? Di Jepang udah enak. Saya nyaman di sini. Oh, now I know the feeling, Pak. Now I know that I am actually not alone in here. Gitu, Pak. I actually experienced the same thing as they are. Gitu, Pak.
Okay. Ya, itu nggak bisa dibayangkan. Soalnya bagi orang Indonesia, let's say, ya tadi Jepang itu negara maju dengan segala macamnya teratur. Brunei secara ekonomi lebih sejahtera lah, katakan begitu gitu. But why you choose itu tadi Yogyakarta or Indonesia as your destination for study to live further? Just click itu tadi ya, hanya feeling.
The feeling. Even my mom always asks me, when are you coming back? My family, we miss you. Please come back. Please come back. Even a few nights ago, my brother was teasing my brother. Dia video call saya sering, kangen ya. When are you coming home? I said, what do you mean? I am home. He was very sad when he heard that. What do you mean? I said, I am home.
Oh gitu ya. Second home, first home, still home.
Because now I told you I have 10 siblings, Pak. Saya 10 bersaudara.
Anak keberapa?
Saya anak kedua. So just imagine, Pak. Just imagine how many small. I'm 30. Dan bawah lagi 29, 28. What do you call that in Indonesia, Pak? 27, 26. Apa ya? Istilah ini umur kita itu, Pak.
Iya.
Nggak jauh beda.
Gapnya nggak terlalu
jauh. In Brunei we call it bersusun bantal.
Bersusun bantal ya.
Bersusun bantal. So which means like nggak jauh ya.
Bertumpuk-tumpukan.
Yes, that's why we are very close to. Me and my siblings are very close, Pak. Almost every day we have a video call asking, how are you? Because now I have a lot of ponakan, Pak. Sekarang masih banyak ponakan. Dulu kan waktu when I first came here to Indonesia belum ada ponakan sama sekali. Dan semakin now
sudah ada yang menikah.
Ada banyak, Pak. Saya for example adik saya the first one is my brother. He was about to punya anak, then my sister punya anak 2. Selanjutnya ada anak satu. So semakin banyak ponakan. So that is one of the reasons kenapa saya pengen pulang juga sih, Pak. Pengen ketemu ponakan. A lot of ponakan right now, Pak.
Ya itu tadi yang belum masuk ke pikiran banyak orang di sini adalah orang kalau sudah ke Jogja atau ke Indonesia lah, in general they do Indonesian studies or stuff like that. Itu their heart is bukan trap tapi
kind of magic spell, Pak.
Magic spell gitu ya.
When they say mantra. That's what I said. Kalau kamu sudah masuk Jogja, it's really hard for you to get out from there. They actually believe that, Pak. Even my friend said, even when I did my international friends, Pak, when I finished my masters S2, mereka nanya, okay, Abdul, you finish your masters already, go apply somewhere. I said, no, I want Indonesia. I still want Jogja. Abdul, you can go. You have masters in Islamic studies. Go to Jordan. Keluar aja Islamic countries aja di Timur Tengah. Di Malaysia juga ada. Stop in Indonesia, bilang. You have spent so much time here. Go. Enggak lah, enggak mau. Udah nyaman di sini. Ya. Gitu, Pak.
Ya, so far, selama kamu tinggal di Jogja, belajar di UMY, di Magister Ilmu Agama Islam, apa sih sebenarnya yang kamu pelajari, yang kamu rasakan gitu, yang ini bermanfaat, saya suka sekali tinggal di sini atau belajar di sini gitu.
Di UMY
atau di Jogja secara umum.
I actually when I told you that I was studying about Brunei itu, Pak, so actually in Brunei when I did my study, I actually studied about culture juga, Pak. So culture, and then also about politics in Brunei, religion in mostly culture lah, Pak, ya. So when I went to Indonesia itu, Pak, so I was actually interested in the Javanese culture, Pak, when I was in Jogja. So it's very interesting. You know, how they communicate, how they talk, how they dress. So it's actually different from what I've experienced, Pak, di Brunei itu, Pak. Interesting, Pak.
Kalau dari sisi, let's say, dari sisi praktek beragama, berislam gitu, kamu notice ada perbedaan nggak dengan cara bermasyarakat atau beragamanya orang di Brunei gitu?
For example, Pak, I mentioned this to my lectures in class as well. Khutbahnya itu, Pak. Khutbah itu in Brunei itu the khutbah in all the masjid in Brunei itu, Pak, is actually written by our mufti kerajaan di Brunei.
Okay.
For example, in Indonesia, when I went to certain masjid in Indonesia, the khutbah is different, Pak. Yeah, it's not really written, Pak. It's actually being spoken by themselves. So actually one of the reason in Brunei why it's written itu actually maybe nggak mau ada Pak, what do you mean, like ajaran yang mungkin out of
yang menyimpang gitu.
mungkin Pak, maybe yes. That is one of the things that I've experienced, but tapi yes, Pak, ya but ya
kalau di Indonesia kan lebih, artinya many different opinions, many different school of thought. People can talk about, orang bisa berdiskusi, orang bisa disagree even dengan government gitu. Nggak takut kamu ketularan? Tahu ketularan nggak?
Yes.
Ketularan
Pemikiran
nakal begitu.
I think it in the positive side aja sih, Pak.
Okay.
Take the good things aja sih. Take the good things. Setelah 2 tahun saya belajar, alhamdulillah I get a lot of benefits from it, Pak. I take the positive side aja. For example, Muhammadiyah, we don't have such Muhammadiyah in Indonesia, in Brunei, Pak. So ambil yang baik aja sih, Pak.
Apa yang menurutmu baik dari institusi seperti Muhammadiyah atau Universitas Muhammadiyah yang kamu belajar di dalamnya selama ini, yang kamu berinteraksi dengan orang-orangnya selama ini, yang mungkin we can take something positive from these institutions or the values of these institutions gitu?
Is respecting, Pak. Respecting other thoughts as well. For example, Nahdlatul Ulama and Muhammadiyah, there are no conflicts between that, Pak. Still, they are able to, for example, Lebaran aja, Pak. Kadang they celebrate in different days, but yet they are still able to live in peace. Maksudnya, that is what I learned juga sih, Pak. Tapi there are not much difference, Pak, between Muhammadiyah dan Nahdlatul Ulama, Pak. Ada any difference? A lot of difference.
Ya, ada perbedaannya. Perbedaan sama-sama organisasi Muslim terbesar di Indonesia. Tapi in terms of, for example, adopting madhab. Kalau Nahdlatul Ulama kan adopting certain madhab, 4 madhab, one of the 4 madhab they are adopting.
Yes.
Tapi mainly Syafi'i, sama dengan kurang lebih di Malaysia, di Brunei gitu. Madhabnya secara beragama adalah Syafi'i, Ahlussunnah wal Jamaah. Kalau Muhammadiyah kan tidak limit itself to certain madhab gitu. Mereka disebutnya sebagai reformers atau para pembaharu, para modernis gitu. Jadi not tied with certain madhab gitu. Paling itu sih yang main
significant difference.
Tapi as you mentioned earlier, mereka tetap bisa respecting the result their ijtihad gitu ya. Ijtihadnya itu misalnya tadi Lebaran beda hari di Gregorian kalendernya gitu. Different method, satunya pakai hisab, satunya pakai ru'yah, moon sighting sama calculation. Tapi still they can still respecting each other.
Betul, Pak.
Kalau di Brunei ada semacam itu nggak? Islamic civil society gitu, nggak ada ya? Organization, Islamic organization, things like that.
Nggak ada sih, Pak.
Nggak ada. Semuanya is governed by the state, ya. By the
The
state,
Mufti.
ya.
Yes.
Ya, gitulah di Indonesia.
Ya, oke.
Tapi kalau nanti setelah, let's say, ya kamu lulus dari sini gitu ya, dari S3 di sini gitu, kamu studi politik kan ya?
Politik Islam, Pak. Betul.
Politik Islam. Salah satu produk dari politik Islam, misalnya di Indonesia itu, let's say kayak kemarin di Aceh gitu, adalah implementasi syariat Islam di Aceh. Kalau di Indonesia,
Ya.
case-nya di Brunei juga sama ya.
Ya.
Di Brunei. Kalau melihat dari sisi itu, dari sisi politik pemerintah terhadap syariat Islam di Indonesia dan di Brunei, apa yang kamu lihat? Ada perbedaankah? Ada persamaankah?
Kebetulan this is actually my thesis topic, Pak.
Oke.
My thesis topic is mapping the Sharia law for the Bruneian and Acehnese responses. So actually, I'm actually trying to compare, Pak, the response of Sharia law from the Bruneians and the Aceh, Pak. So actually interviewed the people. Saya interview orang di Brunei. How do they feel about the Sharia law in Brunei? Where are they accepting it? Are they rejecting it? And I actually interview some of the students from UMY who are from Aceh. So as you all know, Aceh is also implementing Sharia law, Pak. So I can see here that even though Brunei, as you know, Brunei is actually practicing system of monarchy, Pak, where all the rules have been set by our Sultan, of the government, Pak. So we have no right to voice out our opinions. But eventually, there are some people who actually say something about it who are not agreeing to the Sharia law, Pak. They protest something, they wrote something on social media showing their protests. While in Aceh, Aceh is under Indonesia, which are practicing democracy, and they are able to voice out their opinions, Pak. So from that I can see here is that there are several responses I can see from Brunei. People who are accepting it, Pak, who are rejecting it, and people who are accepting it but they criticize, Pak. In Brunei, most of the people in Brunei, they actually, when I interviewed some of the students there, Pak, in Brunei, they actually agree of the Sharia law in Brunei. As you know that in Brunei, we are actually making the Sharia law in phases, Pak. Phase
Dalam
1,
beberapa tahap,
Pak. Jadi tahap pertama itu mungkin cuman monetary denda aja. For example, denda bayar. Sanksinya denda aja. For example, people who are not respecting the month of Ramadan, eating in public will be punished by paying $50 Brunei, Pak. Something like that. People who are not performing the male who are not performing Salat Jumat will be paying such amount as well. Monetary juga. And the second one is baru hukuman cambuk.
Hukuman cambuk.
Hukuman cambuk itu berada di stage 2, Pak.
Di tahap kedua.
Tahap kedua.
Ya?
Dan tahap ketiga baru is stoning.
Ada di
yes, it's actually stated
law-nya
bahwa
di phase ketiga, di
phase
tahap
3
ketiga bisa stoning.
Yes. So phase kedua itu masih cambuk and also amputation, Pak.
Tapi sudah pernah adakah yang sampai pada tahap 2 diamputasi, dipotong tangannya, di apa itu namanya?
So far we have not seen people who are being stoned or being dicambuk, karena belum ada, Pak. So Brunei is actually still in phase 1, Pak. Still in phase 1. So maybe the government they need time to have a lot of research on moving to stage 2, Pak, sebenarnya. So Brunei sekarang itu masih stage 1, Pak. Yes.
Nah, kalau misalnya itu tadi orang yang let's say they are seen to be violating certain rules and they have to pay fine. Mereka harus bayar denda karena melanggar puasa Ramadan atau Jumatan,
yes,
gitu.
Pak. Gitu.
Ada nggak peluang di Brunei itu buat mereka-mereka ini yang melanggar ini atau yang dianggap melanggar tapi mereka merasa tidak melanggar untuk complain, no, I'm not guilty, this is not me misalnya, atau I'm forced to do it, I have certain certain conditions that make me have to eat or I have not to go to the masjid for the Jum'ah or things like that gitu.
Of course there is, Pak. Pasti ada, for example, toleransi, or maybe they can't just punish them just like that, Pak. Ya, pasti ada, Pak.
Tapi ada sistem ini.
Ada sistemnya, ada sistem. They have to go to the court and
okay. Then voice is heard as well.
Voice is heard as well, not just being punished.
Langsung dihukum gitu ya. Oke. Nah, kalau misalnya kamu nanti balik ke Brunei ya setelah studi di sini, what other than of course your experience things like that, yang akan kamu bawain kayaknya something positive that need to be adopted or implemented in Brunei gitu. Apa things that you?
I would like to open up the mind of the students, the mind of the students in Brunei of how political Islam is all about it, not just being concentrating on the monarchy system, politics system of monarchy. It's actually very interesting, Pak. So, for example, people who have not been out of Brunei, who are not experiencing the real politics Islam itu, Pak. Maybe one day I can be a lecturer in one of the Islamic universities in Brunei. So I like to teach, Pak. So maybe one day I can be a teacher or lecturer.
Jadi bahwa tadi politik Islam itu kaya sekali, bukan hanya one form of the government gitu. One form government, tapi juga banyak pemikiran yang lain juga.
Betul.
Gitu. Sebaliknya, kalau orang Indonesia ke sana atau ke Brunei gitu, belajar di Brunei atau ke orang-orang Brunei, apa yang orang Indonesia bisa pelajari dari Brunei yang itu penting untuk bisa diadopsi, diimplementasikan di Indonesia?
Mungkin
it will be good for the Indonesians to adopt the positive thing from the Brunei gitu.
Mungkin when I was in Brunei, but there are a lot of international Indonesian students. I made a lot of international students from, for example, it's called Unikal, Pak, Universitas Pekalongan. They actually did their student exchange in Brunei. So I made a lot of Unikal students there. They were actually, when we did our national day in Brunei, they were actually participating as well, Pak. You know, like celebrating with us. And our Sultan is there with us as well. So a lot of international students, it was actually involved in those events. So they can see how Raja kita to interact with the rakyat, you know, asking satu-satu. So those are actually what they experience, Pak, which they have never experienced in their country, Pak. So they're actually menyambut juga hari kebangsaan bersama kita itu, Pak.
The king is very egalitarian.
Yes.
Artinya is good at making connection with lay people, regardless their economic or status or whatever.
Course, gitu. Dia tuh sering during National Day. In fact, some events juga, Pak, public events. Our Sultan he open his palace to people yang mau visiting. For example, during Lebaran, Pak, he'll invite all people. Even a lot of tourists coming to our the Sultan punya istana itu, Pak, to visit him, to actually silaturahmi bersama Sultan kita itu during the first 3 days of Lebaran.
Interesting.
So we can see that the sovereignty atau how Pak, kedaulatan Sultan itu that they have never experienced in their country itu, Pak. To the foreigners.
Sultan yang berinteraksi dengan sangat merakyat istilahnya ya. Kalau di Pekalongan mungkin nggak ada. Kalau di Jogja punya Sultan. Sultannya adalah gubernur gitu. Tapi Sultan itu kalau di sini sangat dihormati dan rakyat itu di bawah, seakan-akan hubungan dengan Sultan itu nggak bisa dalam konteks yang sama gitu.
Iya, Pak,
Harus
oke.
dengan penghormatan.
Iya.
Bahasanya pun berbeda.
Sama juga, Pak.
Oh, gitu.
Sama juga.
Sama ya,
Saya, for
dari
example,
sisi
I
itu
cannot
ya.
say, saya tidak bisa ngomong. Saya, gitu.
Oh gitu ya. Apa
Ya.
kalau di
It's called,
Brunei?
hamba ke bawah duli Tuan Patik.
Oh, hamba
ke bawah duli Tuan Patik.
ke bawah dulu Tuan Patik.
Ya.
Apa itu artinya?
It means saya, Pak. Tapi
gitu. Panjang.
Hamba ke bawah duli Tuan Patik. For example, if we say terima kasih Sultan, itu nggak bisa. Hamba ke bawah duli Tuan Patik menjunjung kasih ke bawah duli.
Oh gitu ya. Coba ajarin mengucapkan terima kasih ke Sultan. Gimana tadi? Hamba
ke bawah duli Tuan
Tuan Patik
menjunjung kasih.
menjunjung kasih hanya untuk mengucapkan terima kasih seraja gitu ya. Oh, kalau dari sisi itu masih dijaga
Masih
ya,
dijaga, Pak. So for example,
silakan.
during my graduation was actually in UBD juga, Pak. So kita diajar untuk to shake hands, and then to take the, because the one who are presenting our certificate is our own Sultan, Pak. Because he is our vice chancellor.
Vice Chancellor.
So waktu kita ambil the certificate, we were asked to
Salaman.
and then menjunjung kasih ke bawah dulu Tuan, and then ke belakang gitu.
Oh.
So we are actually taught those kind of stuff.
Oh, okay, manner, that kind of
Yes.
manner gitu ya.
Betul.
Royal manner.
Yes,
Gitu.
betul. So they have like, masih juga kita itu disuruh, even waktu kita SMA we have diajar, for example, kalau di sini mungkin Pancasila ya, Pak ya, one of the subject to be learned in SMA itu. Kalau di sana kita masih ada namanya MI, sama tadi Pak, Melayu Islam Beraja. So we have to learn bahasa-bahasa istana juga, Pak. Ya, for example, kalau mandi ya bersiram.
Mandi bersiram.
Ya, if I'm not mistaken, Pak, kalau nggak salah.
Tapi mandi dipakai sebagai bahasa enggak?
Enggak. For if we talk to our king, we are not supposed to say mandi.
Oh,
we have to-
but to fellow to friends is okay.
Mandi bisa,
mandi
ya.
biasa.
Ya.
Oke.
Ya.
Bersiram, menjunjung kasih.
Menjunjung kasih, hamba ke bawah duli menjunjung Pak, hamba ke bawah duli menjunjung kasih. Those kind of stuff, Pak.
Oke, makasih banyak ini
Pak.
Abdul Muiz sudah berbincang, ngobrol ngalor ngidul. Kadang maaf campur-campur Inggris, Melayu, atau Indonesia. Tapi ya gitu ya, dua
Pak, betul.
negara bertetangga saling belajar, saling menghormati. Ada kelebihan satu dengan yang lain, gitu,
Betul.
saling yang belajar yang positif dan meninggalkan hal-hal yang tentu saja yang nggak applicable di masing-masing negara. Oke, ada yang mau disampaikan terakhir kepada teman-teman Muiz di sana yang mau belajar ke Indonesia gitu misalnya?
Oh, oke. Kalau ada orang Brunei, if any Bruneians wanted to come to Indonesia, ayo come to Indonesia. Indonesia is a beautiful country. A lot of things to explore here. Don't just study in Brunei. There are a lot of scholarships here. Come to Indonesia. It's a beautiful country, guys.
Oke. Sekali lagi makasih dan
Ya, Pak.
sukses dengan studinya.
Ya, Pak.
Mudah-mudahan bisa berhasil dan lulus tepat waktu lagi.
Iya, Pak.
That's the challenge ya.
Ya,
Oke.
betul, Pak.
Oke, baik, makasih dan sampai ketemu lagi dengan tamu-tamu Wonder Home podcast berikutnya. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.